Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. It's Monday, December 20th, 2021. I am Sally Blue Sister, and this is My Turn to Talk. The week of Christmas. Is everyone getting busy? Do you celebrate Christmas? Do you buy Christmas gifts? What do you do? But that's not our topic for today. Welcome, Frankie. You are the first one here. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so thank you, Frankie, my super fan. All right, so thank you so much. Today we're going to talk about when one person loves the other more. What do you do? Welcome, Juju. You are number two. And I'm going to mute you. There we go. My admin here. So you got to be on it. All right. So, what do you do when you love, when you know you love your partner more or they love you more? In relationships, does one person always seem to love the other more? How do relationships like this survive? Is there regret from either side? Now, I personally think, now I'm not a expert in love or anything like that. Growing up, I was actually a nerd and a dork, but I do think that in relationships, no matter how in love people are or how much someone loves someone, I again personally think, my personal opinion, is that one person in the relationship always loves the other more. Even if it's just a smidgen, there's always one person in the relationship who loves the other more. Um, I don't think that's because the person who does not love the other person more is selfish or, um, for whatever reason they don't, like this person. Welcome, Revolutionary Bro. But I do think that in relationships, there's always that uneven keel there. That scale is always uneven. It's never completely even. Welcome, GP Man, and welcome, Heartbeat. So this is what I want to talk to you guys about. So again, what do you do when you know you love your partner more or they love you more? In relationships, does one person always seem to love the other more? And how do relationships like this survive? Is this regret from either side? So, having said that, my intro, I am going to welcome Crucible Man. I'm going to invite some people on. And if you guys can talk, no problem. And if not, there's no problem there too. And Juju is my admin, and she's going to be looking out for trolls. Okay, so, bro, what do you
What's good?
say? You want to start us off? You can start us off. What do you have to say?
I don't really want to say nothing today. I just want to. Now I want to say something, but not right now.
I
I'm
know
going to
you
the
want to
first
say
one.
something. Okay.
Not the first one.
You
Where's
don't want to
somebody
be
else at?
you don't want to be the first one? Well, you know what?
No, I
You know
never
what, bro?
start.
Well, you know what? You're not the first one because I'm the first one because I'm always the first one talking. So so
But you
you're
don't
actually
count. You're the moderator. You don't count.
oh come on. So you don't have an opinion on if someone loves the other person more?
All right, I will say this. I will say this.
See, I knew
I've
you
been
had
in.
something to say. I knew you had something to say. Go ahead.
I've been in relationships where I love people more, and then they love me more. But I think the person who loved the person the most is not only the only one that's used to being able to love, but I think they're the most needy. Like, say for instance,
Wait. You're saying the person who is loved more.
know who's loving the most.
Okay.
It's
Okay. Go ahead.
typically the more needier one.
Okay.
And let me tell you what I mean by needy. Let's say, for instance, I make $85,000 a year, right? And I meet a young lady that work at McDonald's. I think she gonna love me like she ain't never loved nobody else because I almost be like a father figure to her because she'll be more like a child of mine than an actual mate of mine.
Well, wait. Are you saying because of the discrepancy in salary?
Yeah, because she probably needs some things. Like, of course, listen,
I'm sorry, bro, but I'm not on that same track with you. But go ahead. Go ahead.
so I'm just saying, all right, say for instance, you met Elon Musk. You would probably just jump in his wallet and let him carry you around.
Well, actually,
Because
no. No,
I'm
not at all. So basically, what you're saying is that the person who has the most money is not going to
mhm.
love the other person more, meaning that the other person is going to be in love with you more because of your money. That's what you're saying.
Pretty much. And this is why
Don't you
I
think that's rather
start.
shallow? Don't you think it's rather a
Do,
shallow
do
thought?
you know the world is more shallow than that? Think about this, Salibu. Now, we've been around for a minute. And guess what we understand? The hypocrisy of society. Most people just don't have the heart to actually say what's on their mind because they're people pleasers. And what they say is things that make other people feel comfortable. Like, just say, for instance, you in a room full of people that eat strange food, and they're talking about some of the strange things that they eat. You might say, you know what? Well, I eat something too that just to make them feel better about themselves. But you don't eat that crazy stuff. So it's salad blue. Do you know why I'm
But
going
you
salad
owe me.
blue
I mean,
olive?
I understand what you're saying, but you can't equate someone who has more money than the other that they love them more. And GP Man says, love has a price. Okay,
Ex-
but what is that price? Because if that's the case, then if you have a rich person who fell in love with just your regular old Joe or regular old Sally, whatever, they may
mhm,
want that person because they're down to earth and they're not looking for anything.
mhm.
So you can't always say that. And what if you have two people who both work at McDonald's or both make
And
85,000 a year or
then you know
both make
what? Then
2 million a year? Who you
then
don't
you know
think?
what? They won't have a stronger love for one another. They have a mutual respect. See, if people are equally have, all right, think about this.
I
Say
wish
for
you could see
instance,
my face right now. Anyway,
say
go
for
ahead.
instance, a homeless man, right? You roll past him one day and you say, "Yummy," right? Listen, Salibu, and hopefully you don't do that. I love you, Salibu. Listen, and you say, "Yummy," and you go back and you pick him up. It's dead winter. The Hulk is out, snow on the ground. He gonna love you so much. He gonna be in your basement making statues that look like you. And you're gonna say, what is all these solid blue statues going in my basement? You understand what I'm saying? Because he gonna worship the ground that you walk on.
Only
He
because he makes the same amount of money as I do.
no, only because he ain't got no money at all. And he listen, listen ain't got no money. And then you got food in your refrigerator, salad brew. He in there making tacos, everything. He in love. He gonna love you way more than you love him because you can cast his love aside anything because you don't need him. See, people won't say this solid blue, but it is the truth. I promise you. I, you know what? I know a pastor married a lady in the church. She was the first broke lady. She didn't have a dime. You understand what I'm saying? The
Understand?
congregation had to send her to college. But she loved this pastor so much for taking care. She had red bottom shoes. She had everything. She was happy. She wasn't going nowhere but shopping.
But you make everyone seem so shallow. You make everyone seem so shallow that the only reason why someone loves someone more is because of their money, and that just seems so
But
just.
it happens when we're kids. We love our parents, but we don't just love our parents. We say, parent, get us some shoes, get us some
Well, then
jackets.
okay, but okay, but at the same time though, if your parents, I mean, are not um uh Elon Musk, are you going to love your parents less because your father lost his job, your mother hasn't
No,
been able to work? Of course, you're still going to love
no, you're
your
still gonna love
parents.
them, but you're gonna be rooting for the situation to get better.
I
You're
mean,
gonna be
yeah,
like,
yeah,
go, Dad.
you right,
You,
right, but that doesn't mean that you're going to love them less or love them even more just because of their financial situation.
no, I don't. I'm gonna love more because you know what? Just say, for instance, my dad is down in the dumps because he lost his job. Because I'm gonna be like, Dad, look, you got to get it together. Because he'll tell me that if I got bad grades in school, he'll say, come on, son, you can step it up, and I'm gonna be the same way. Come on, Dad, you got to get that money because we need things.
But
Get
okay,
it together.
but that's not loving someone more. Okay, let me ask this question. Do you think there's a difference between loving someone and being in love?
Yes, that definitely is. See, understand this. Salvatore, I'm so glad you asked me that. I'm great. Go get me some new shoes.
Wait, I'm
Listen,
sorry. Wait, is this the man who didn't want to talk first? Huh? Is this him? Am I talking to that
see,
person?
no, because Salvatore, you being mean to me. You spanking me with belts. You hit me with whips and chains.
Oh my
No,
goodness. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. You
uh,
make me laugh.
no, because understand this, Salvatore. Sometimes if you are in love, right, there are things that you can go through and you won't even waver. But if you just love somebody, that means you just hooked on a feeling that they provide. And once you don't feel that way no more, you can just go. This is why divorces happen every day from people who love somebody. But when you're in love, you make an effort to make it work. You say, okay, you had 6 kids by 6 other different women. But you know what, honey, we can get through this. All we got to do is start a bonfire in the backyard, cook a couple of brontosaurus burgers, and we're going to be all right. See, you talk like that when you're in love. But if you just love somebody, you can let go in a heartbeat. All you got to do is not feel those emotions no more.
All right. So I'm going to read. Frankie just said, bro is lit today. By lit, I mean funny as hell. So you are making, so you're making Frankie laugh. So, all right. So, Crucible Man, come on and join the party because bro has me cracking up. And I have a couple of things I want to say to him, but I want to hear what you have to say first.
Well, I missed the beginning of the intro, but I think I understand the question. Who determines exactly, how is it determined, I should say, that one person loves the other more? I mean, nobody's going to sign a document to that effect. Love is a very subjective thing, and at any given day, I am not married, but I've been in a bunch of long-term relationships, and on any given day, I think one or the other could feel like they're loving the other person more, because it is such a subjective thing. Now, one person might think that giving gifts and and doing little things like that on a daily basis, that proves that you love somebody. Now, your mate may not be a very materialistic person, and he may think, well, I'm going to stop and get groceries so she doesn't have to. I'm going to do things maybe as opposed to give things, but the other person has a different measuring stick. So objectively, could you say one loves the other person more than the other, or is it just they have a different way of expressing it? So I guess go back to my original question: who and how is it determined? Is it scientific? Is it just a philosophy? Who and how is it determined that one person loves the other more than the other?
You bring up some good points, but I will say what I started off with at the very beginning was I do believe in relationships. I don't care how long that person's been married, how long they've been together. Um, if you just met that person and you all are hanging out at a party or whatever, or this is your first date, one person is always going to like the other more. One person is always going to love the other person more. This is something that I truly believe. I understand what Crucible Man is saying. How is that measured, whatever. But I think in relationships, I think people know. I think people know just by things that people do or say or don't do or don't say. You can, I mean, look at your parents. um you know um yes, they could have been married for 25 years, 30, 40, 50 years. Can you look at your parents and say that I think my dad loved my mom more than she loved him, or I think my mom loved my dad more than he loved her. And I think you can see that. I think that sometimes it's obvious, and sometimes it's not. But I do believe in a relationship, people somewhere along the line, they're going to either say it out loud or they're going to think to themselves, I think I love her more than she loves me. I think he loves me, or I think I love him more than he loves me. This is just something that I think. Welcome, only crazy lady and learner. So, and bro, I'm sorry, dude. I just can't get on the bandwagon with you. With the person who has the most money is going to not. I'm sorry. The person who has the less money is going to love the one with the most money more. Um, uh, I, you know, money
Can I ask you a
can't.
question?
Money
So,
can't. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
all right, let me ask you a question. What's up, Crucible Man?
Yo, Rev Bro, what's up, man?
All right, check this out. Solid Blue Sister. Like, just, in the last decade, right, or two, it's been a lot of men on TV, probably a Will Smith, probably a Denzel Washington. Just, somebody just made you say, you know what? Look at here, look at here. LL Cool J. But you know what? Why a lot of women say that? Not because they the finest things walking around. They say that because they know that they got some money. And that if they had a chance, they would leave it. They could have Denzel and leave Denzel for Denzel because they know Denzel got more money than
But
Denzel.
okay, but bro, that is number one. That's either lust or that is greed. I'm talking about when you are
No,
in a
but
serious relationship. I mean
but
you
that's
can't always say that. No, you cannot always say that the person who has the least amount of money is always going to want. I mean, yes, a lot of people fall over Denzel. I don't, but a lot of women do.
I'm just saying
But
because they know he got money. Let's
but
keep
that
it
has
real.
nothing. But
They
again,
don't.
I am keeping it real. I'm
Cause,
trying to say that you make it
no,
sound very, very shallow. That people are in it for the money.
but see, that's what we see. You know what, Solid Blue? If you hold up a mirror to society, society is going to run from that mirror because we don't tend to use the same measuring rod towards ourselves that we use towards other people. So we can see the hypocrisy in other people, but hey, don't point that same mirror at me. And all I'm doing is showing a societal mirror image of the selves in this nation.
Okay, so
Don't hate the player, hate the
okay,
game.
so crazy lady says, I know at times I give 95 Ross. I give 95. Ross gives 5, and vice versa. I dated a rich guy once, and I went with the poor guy. I mean, in relationships, they can be easy or they can be not so easy. But whether you're rich, poor, or both of you all have the same amount of money, I still think that when it comes to love and emotions, that there's going to be that one person who gives that love and emotion more. Not because someone has more money, not because someone has a bigger house, whatever, but that's just the way it is. That other person could be doing something that turns the other person off, and that makes them not love them as much, or the other person could be doing something that really turns them on, that may make them love them more. But again, I say, look at your parents, look at the relationships around you, and you're going to tell me that when you look at people, that there's not that one person, even if it's just a little bitty bit.
Let me agree with you for just 1 second.
Okay.
Just 1 second. You're absolutely right. Because it's a thing called the puppy effect. You know how you can have a little puppy, right? And he do something nice or do something good, and you just call him up, and he come and lay on your lap, roll over it, let you rub his little stomach, and you put a dog treat in his mouth. It's relationships like that. I call them little puppies, little puppy relationships, because women love puppies, and you know how I know they love puppies? Because they carry around little cages and little bags with puppies in them. listen.
Wait. So you're saying that women are usually the ones. Men can't be?
No, I'm saying a lot of women view that man like a little puppy. Like if they go with a broke man, right? And say, for instance, he clean the house and do this and wash the clothes. They say, come here, little puppy. And he come and lay on their lap and they rub his little stomach and put a dog treat in his mouth. He loved that lady so much. Listen, because he know that if that lady tell him he got to be there at 2:30, he'll be there at 1:15. I'm at service. They love little puppy men like that. So a lot of times they won't go with the rich man because they want that little puppy in that bag. Women love the control, and they control that little broke man. See, you can't control that rich man. You can't control that man with that 6-figure salary, but you can get you a little puppy. And you see them all the time when you ride down the street. Say, oh, look at the little puppy. And see,
oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I wish this show was live on video, because if you can see my face right now, because I am shaking my head. I'm making these never mind. Let's just say that I 100% disagree with what you are saying. Thank you, Crucible Man, for the love for the pod thing. I'm sorry, bro. Crucible Man, you want to jump in here, because we are on crazy train here.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to bring it back on track anytime soon.
I'm not saying you got to bring it back on track, but this is.
Well,
Do you agree with what bro is saying? Is that money can make someone love someone more because the other person has money?
I'm just saying I understand where he's coming from, and I do believe that phenomena exists. We all have different things we need from quote unquote love. Some people need material things, some people need comfort and nurturing and things like that. So I could understand somebody, whether they mistake it for love or whether it's genuine love based on money. Who's to say what gets into somebody's heart? It may not be my definition of love, but based on maybe previous relationships that they've had that were poor relationships, that maybe they didn't have any money and they defined the relationship that way, and they defined it as being poor, not poor monetarily necessarily, but poor quality because there wasn't any money. And now that he's in a relationship with somebody with money, and suddenly I'm in quote unquote love. But the thing about relationships is I don't think it's possible for anything to ever be, certainly something as subjective as love, to be 50-50. I just think it's damn impossible. But over the course of relationships, and let's just take a marriage because they're the longer lasting relationships, there's ebbs and flows. And even though I haven't been married, I've been in long-term relationships, and they go up and they go down. And at any given time, you may fall out of favor. I saw Only Crazy Lady, something in the chat box, she loves her husband, but at times she hates him. We all go through periods where we're not at our best, and our mate is going to judge us, and they may decide, I don't love that person as much anymore. I love them, but I don't love them as much as I used to. And a year or two later, the pendulum may swing back the other way. And suddenly now I'm more in love with this person. I know I've talked to people who've lived that. And they've told me, I thought I was going to get divorced. And now here it is 30 years later. I don't know what I would do without this person. So it changes throughout the course of the relationship. And at any given time, we're either at a love deficit or we're at a love surplus. But I think it's a very difficult thing to pin down. And if money is something that you decide represents love, again, I don't agree with it. But if that's your definition and you're okay with it, then who might argue?
Now, see,
I'm
this is
not
where
saying that money. Go ahead.
no, I was just going to say that this is where I disagree. I do know that relationships, and we'll take marriage. Yes, they go up and down. You could want to kick your husband out the house on one day, and then the next day you all are all in love. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about the everyday. He didn't do the dishes. I'm pissed off at him. I'm leave me alone. Whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that when two people get together, when they first meet, when they when they first meet, everybody's on their best behavior. So you could be in love with that person. You're on your best behavior, so you're in love. Then that changes. Once you all get going and whatever. No problem, Shannon. Once you all get going and you all get settled, it turns to being in love with someone to loving them. And no matter how long you've been with that person, and I'm not talking about the ups and downs, whatever, there's always that one person from day one who loves the other person more. And again, I say, if you look at your parents, if you look at your siblings, if you look at your friends, whatever, you may not want to admit it. Even if you look at your own relationship, I think there's that one person in that relationship, and this is just my own opinion, just even if it's just a smidgen, loves the other person more. And brother, I'm going to give you the mic, but I want to say a verbal welcome to Shannon, feisty and crazy lady. So, what do you want to say, bro?
Let me say this. Crucible Man was on point when he talked about the highs and the lows and the ebbs and the flows. Now let me tell you what I mean. Let me just say this to start though, and then I'm gonna get back to that. Do you know? I'm not sure if you ever said it, South Blue Sister, but a lot of women have told me in my past. They said women could tell a good man by the shoes he wear. So I'm a proprietor of good shoes. I keep me some good shoes. Do you understand what I'm saying? Good shoes, good news. But let me just say this about the ebbs and the flows. I had this aunt, and she was married to an uncle of mine, and she used to say all the time that she loved him, but she ain't in love with him. Right? His grandmother died, and he inherited, I think it was like $250,000-$300,000. And when she saw that car outside, a brand new car with that boat on top of it, she just started loving that man like all get out.
But then again, I say it's a difference between love and being in love.
And that's what I was saying. It is a difference. And that's what I was saying earlier. The difference is what keeps you in love is that stability. Now, if you just love somebody, that's almost superficial. We don't even have a universal functional definition for love. If you ask somebody to define love, you know what they'll throw around? They will throw around a lot of adjectives. Like they'll say things like love is sharing and caring and eating M&Ms. They just say crazy stuff like that because they don't have a functional definition for it. As a matter of fact, it's almost a mythological word. You know, myth just only means that something is not verifiable. I don't even know if I could verify whether or not somebody loved me. How do you
But it seems
verify
like
that?
that you're equating love with money, and like Crazy Lady says, shallow. I mean,
Because
it's making people. I mean,
money money is a real thing.
money
Even though love
is a real
isn't,
thing, but that
money
doesn't
is
mean that
real.
I'm going to love you just because you have $20 million and I only have two. I mean, you're
Sourdough.
really. I'm
If
sorry,
I
I disagree with you on this one, bro.
if I had somebody kidnap you, right, and they blindfold you, throw you on a private jet and fly you out to a particular state. And when you get there, it'd be a mansion, about 4 or 5 cars. They had some service, some chefs, and all. And I say, baby girl, all you gotta do is just love me and stay here. You will probably forget where you live. You'll be like, well, because you know you ain't gotta go back and get nothing, because everything you need is right in front of you.
I'm
You can do
sorry.
all that stuff. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Okay, but at the same time, if you're someone who doesn't have a lot of money, and if only thing you could buy me is McDonald's, I'm still, if I like you and if I love you, I'm still going to like the fact and love the fact that you bought me McDonald's. I mean,
You know what?
who
And
needs
then
to go off?
that'll be one of those moments that you say, "Come here, little puppy, come here." Right? Listen, listen. Yeah, so, that'll, that'll be one of them puppy moments, and I'll lay
Oh
on
my
your lap, and you'll
goodness.
just pat my stomach and put a little
Oh
dog treat
Lord.
in my
Lord
mouth.
help us all, bro. Lord help us. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Bro, I'm sorry. Once again, I 100% disagree with you. Does anybody else want to jump in on this conversation? Crucible Man, you want to add anything else? Send out some more invites here. Oh boy. Hey, Petty Deb, and hello, Caps. I wanted to say a verbal hello to you guys. All right, so Shannon, you want to add something? I'm pretty sure you kind of figured how the conversation was going.
Well, I definitely believe actions show and not words. Words are just words to me. I believe a man makes the money, that money does not make a man. I myself have been personally very unlucky in love. I've been in love, I think, only once truly in my life, and had nothing to do with money. It was just a connection I felt, and it was actually the shortest relationship that I've ever had. I only knew him for a moment, but I truly don't think I ever loved anybody the way I loved him.
Now, would you say that you loved him more than he loved you?
I don't know. I never even got to tell him. I never told him I loved him. So, I mean, it was really literally just a few months, but he's everything I ever wanted. And I lost him. And he's sort of back in my life, but not yet. It's a long story, but we're not seeing each other, but I'm really kind of crossing my fingers. He's the man I always wanted to grow old with.
Okay.
I don't want to get married ever. I've never been married. I've been asked 3 times, and I think marriage ruins a relationship. There's something about it that subconsciously I think, oh my God, I'm chained to this person. But then I think it's more of a statement to not marry a man, especially if he has money or she has money, to say, hey, baby, I'm with you solely just because I want to be with you, not because I have a piece of paper. You can hurt each other so badly with that piece of paper. Whether it doesn't work out, an ugly divorce, you could be married to a man that's made a fortune in his lifetime. And then all of a sudden, I want half, and he can do it to her. Or you can Baker Act somebody. And when it's just so much damage you can do as that piece of paper.
Okay, so Shannon, let me ask this. Okay, you're saying so much damage you can do with that piece of paper. Are you talking about like in the divorce where each person is fighting over money or
Sure.
cars or homes and stuff. Okay, so but
Absolutely. And something that a woman, or say like his second or third wife, and all of a sudden he's made a fortune all his life, and then all of a sudden he's married to this woman who thinks she's entitled to everything he's ever earned, or vice versa. A man can do it to a woman. I don't like those type of gold digging hoes, man. I'm sorry, I just don't. I think if you're going to split something, it's something that you should be able to split, that you earned between you, that, during the time of your marriage. I've just seen too many women do it to my own father, and it's just,
now men also do it. Men
yeah,
also
no,
do it.
this is true.
So okay, so now you're taking the conversation in a different direction. So Shannon, do you believe that no matter how much money you have, that people should get prenups?
That it's, if that's something you want. I mean, it's all matters upon the individuals, but
Well,
with
I'm
my
saying
my
so.
trust issues, I say yeah.
Okay.
I have more. Mine would not be about the money. Well, sort of about the money, but it would be more. I wouldn't want them to make any medical decisions for me. So
Well, that's something you can put. I mean, that's something that you can put in
yeah.
writing. Yeah. So,
But
but
I mean, it's something that, trust is something that's earned and not given. So I mean, you could know someone for years and never truly really ever know them. How's a rich man to ever think that, or a woman, that this person is a manipulating king? How do you know that they're not just after the money? So to me, I think maybe a commitment ceremony or something other than the legal piece of paper. You're just saying, I love you just because I love you and not your money.
all right. So let's. I know it's going to be hard for some people, but let's take money out. Okay. Let's just.
Okay.
You're looking at two people. They come from the same neighborhood. They're making the same amount of money. They live in the same type of house. They have the exact same amount in their bank account. Does that make a difference?
Of what? If they have money?
In terms of love, in terms of wanting to be with that person or
I'd
loving
rather
that
be
person
with the
more or
person.
whatever.
I'd rather be with the person who made me feel completely comfortable, and we just got along. There was never any tension. And if he was poor, whatever, middle class, then a rich asshole any day of the week. Any day of the week. Money doesn't mean shit to me. I mean, I want money, don't get me wrong, and I'll have it, but money and a man does not matter to me. No, it's the person.
And that's what I think. It should be the person and not judging people on their money, because there are a lot of people with money who are assholes.
Yeah. Things
It's
are
like,
just
really?
things.
Who would actually want to be with you? I mean, you might have this money, but you're an asshole.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way I would choose the guy who made my toes curl, who I just looked forward to the second, couldn't wait till he came home, the one that made me laugh, the one that I could trust day over a rich man who ignored you or was violent or mean or money has never been one of my, that's like last on the list for me. And even looks is not the first for me. Honesty, trust, how they make me feel. Trust is everything to me. It is. It's everything to me. And it's a connection and how comfortable I feel with them. Can I be me around them instead of having to be, oh yeah, I would take a 5, even a fat man who is warm, kind, wonderful, fun to be with, than some gorgeous, let's say 12 on a scale of 1 to 10, who's rich and an asshole. I would take that 5 any day of the week. I wouldn't even have to think about it.
All right. Bro, I'm coming to you next. I am coming back around to you. I know you want to say something, but I have a question for you. So, bro, so listening to everything that uh Shannon just said,
Mm-hmm.
why do you think some women and some men,
Mm-hmm.
but mostly women, stay in abusive relationships?
Oh,
Is
good
it out of
question.
love, or is it out of fear? Or I mean, when they come, oh, but I love him. Well, he's beating your ass every day. Oh, but I love him. Is that love? Does that person love that person more, the one that's beating on him? Or is
No,
it fear?
it's two things. It's two things. You
It's
could get that situation stemming from either necessity or you could get it stemming from fear. If a woman really fears of, see, a lot of men put the fear of God in their women. My sister, her oldest child, was by a dude that was a few years older than her. And I'm younger than her actual sister. And don't you know, he had her thinking that just by the way he treated her, that he could treat everybody like that. And she told me what she was going through. And I went and I knocked him, Salad Blue Sister knocked him out like Ali, like Mike Tyson back in the day. And I did that to show her that speaking things to that on ever. You know, it's serious, Blue. I, I I think what it is like this country berates people so much for having a real sense of just their own way of thinking that it causes you to have the group think. You know what I notice when somebody on the podcast say something that could be to everybody's liking, heart balloons up in the air like welfare. You understand what I'm saying? They just giving them out like food stamps paying for them. Because you don't buy food with your regular money like you do with food stamps. You'll get that $35 bag of crab legs with them food stamps, but you won't do that with your regular money. Now, let me say this, Solid Blue. When people tend to say things that aren't what the crowd want to hear, we get crickets. And the way we get crickets, like, let me just say this. You would never go outside, Solid Blue, and see a man with one shoe, a nappy head, and bad breath and two teeth, and say, come on, let's go. You ain't doing that. I don't care how phony, how hypocritical the, the things people want to, and then when we say, oh, well, rich people, we automatically equate them to assholes. It's probably some genuinely good rich people. But of course, if you say, well, I'd rather have this broke dude with the puppy sneaks, as opposed to this asshole, of course, you're going to go get the man with the puppy sneaks. But what if the rich man ain't an asshole? What if he ain't rich? What if he just got, a good amount of money? I'm gonna tell you like I don't. I'm gonna tell you
Orlando.
like I could like anyone, but I don't want no broke woman. I don't want no woman that. Well, what toothpaste you use? I use, uh, Kmart Control Crest. I ain't never
All
heard
right,
no
wait, hold on,
Kmart
hold on.
Control.
So, okay, you're saying you don't want a broke woman. So, does that mean that
No,
if you met someone and she had a great job or whatever, and then she lost her job, and it took her a while to find another one, would you
no.
not
I'm,
want to
I'm gonna
be her
work with
anymore?
her. I'm gonna work with her because I know who she is. But the thing about you ain't gonna come into my life with one shoe. I'm gonna have to get 10 prenups. Then I'm gonna get some pre's and some nups. We gonna
Oh
have both
goodness.
of them to sign.
So if
Damn.
if a woman came into your life with one with one shoe,
See, you
and
like
you would
that. You
seriously
like
just
that,
tell
man.
her, okay, all right, I am going to go to Crazy Lady because she has been waiting patiently. What do you have
Wait,
to say,
what
Crazy
kind of
Lady?
shoe was it that she had on?
See, crazy lady, that's why you crazy. What's up, baby?
Okay,
So
Crazy Lady.
so so like, hey, let's just say that you met some chick came and like waited on you in a restaurant or whatever, right?
Mm.
And wait. Say you met this chick at a party, okay? And you got along with her and you thought, oh man, this is like the coolest chick ever, blah, blah, blah. And then the next day you planned on calling her, right? And then the next day you went somewhere and then she was a waitress.
Oh, I could, because she
would you still call her?
Yeah,
or
because
would
she can
you not?
start
Because
somewhere. Because if I see that a woman got a work ethic, I can work with her. That's work together. But if I see her just, sitting on a bench reading a book with only 2 pages because all the other pages are missing, I ain't got too much to say to her.
Well,
Until
okay,
she
bro,
find
wait,
the missing pages.
hold on. Because now, what if that woman with that one shoe has a work ethic because she's trying to buy another shoe? Are you going to work with her?
No,
What if it was a high?
I will go to the thrift store and buy her a pair of sticks and say, "Get it in." You understand? Get it in. Because if she ain't ready to get it in, it ain't nothing we can do.
All right.
I got to see some work.
All right, I'm going to throw this out here, but Crucible Man, he's also been waiting
Slave
patiently.
driver, you.
No, we're gonna work together.
Hold on, guys. Crucible Man's been waiting patiently, and I'm throwing this out to everyone, but I would like for Crucible Man to answer this one first, and then we can go around the room. Do you think loving someone means wanting them to do well, and being in love means putting them first?
There's obviously a difference between loving someone and being in love. I mean, I love my siblings, but I'm obviously not in love with them. Being in love is a very tricky phrase because it implies a state of mind as opposed to a deep sentiment. I think when people when they make the reference to being in love, not always, but frequently, it refers to the beginning of a relationship when people are, their heads in the clouds and the stars. They're not maybe thinking clearly. The other person can do no wrong. So you're in a euphoric state that does not reflect reality. But when you love somebody, that generally is something that has stood the test of time. It's based on genuine, heartfelt feelings about the person, the real person, warts and all. So I think when you love someone, it's the result of a journey. And when you're in love with someone, it can be a temporary state. Not that eventually you won't come to settle down and love them in a more rational way, but I think it's easy to confuse being in love and loving someone. Now, it's possible to do both, but I think with marriage, and again, I haven't been married, but over time, I've talked to a number of people. They are not necessarily, quote unquote, in love anymore. The bloom is off the rose. They've seen their partner or their spouse up close, good, bad, and ugly on a regular basis, and they love them anyway. So I think being in love can imply irrationality, while loving someone, I think, is more reflection of a longer period of time and actually getting to know the person as opposed to being in love maybe with the idea of love.
And that's what I said towards the beginning when I said that when you're first get into a relationship, people are in love. It's new. This is, oh, wow, I love you. Yes, I'm so in love with you. But then when it starts to wear off and you guys get to know each other, things change. So Shannon, I'm going to ask you the same question. Do you think loving someone means wanting them to do well? Being in love means putting them first.
What, before myself or others?
Well, before anyone. I mean,
well, I don't think you can truly love anyone unless you love yourself first. But definitely the person you're going to I'll just tell you this. Next time, my next relationship, I will never settle again. I'd rather be alone than settle and just pretend that I'm in love or convince myself I'm in love. I do believe is putting them first. Absolutely. But it comes at a cost, though. As long as it doesn't hurt you to put them first. because a lot of people do that. A lot of women, like you were talking about, like, why did women get abused and they stay in the relationship? It, like, for one, is probably circumstance, money wise. They're not independent. Or two, they're just so conditioned and left so insecure that they feel like they can't leave or live without them. But I do believe you should put the person you love first above all. Yes, I do.
So that means that you're willing to make sacrifices for that person.
Oh, absolutely. Say, like, if the love of my life was hurt, say couldn't walk, and say couldn't have sex anymore, that wouldn't change anything for me. Absolutely not. I would take care of him. I'd be there till the end. Absolutely. Sure. They come first. Yes.
Okay. So, crazy lady, I have a question for you. Do you think loving someone means needing them around, and being in love means needing them to be where they are happy? So, loving someone means needing them around. Being in love means needing them to be where they are happy.
Needing them to be where they are happy. You know, I think, yeah, because like,
So you want them, you value their happiness over you, or I'm sorry, over your own happiness.
in a way, yeah, you know, because like I would rather let Roscoe and him be happy than him stay and be miserable, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm happy that he's with me and that I make him happy. Yeah, that totally works for me. But like, if something happened,
block him. We gotta.
you're the same way. He says he's the same way. You
That's
know,
not him.
I mean,
Solid Blue. That's not Michael. It's the same dumb troll that was
Yeah.
before.
Okay,
He's doing
okay, wait.
Michael now.
I see it, and I am taking care of it. Don't worry.
you know, yeah, you know, I mean, I would totally want him to be happy, you know, and if I didn't make him happy, I would want him to find happiness because I love him, you know. And he said he feels the same way, so it's a good thing we're on the same page.
All right. So, I have a question for Revolutionary Bro. All right, bro. So, loving someone is about how they make you feel. Being in love is about how you make them feel. I'll repeat it. Loving someone is about how they make you feel. Being in love is about how you make them feel.
Oh, well, let me say this. If I love you, you're going to feel good about yourself anyway. Because I'm going to make sure you do. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm going to need you to be fit mentally and physically so, you know, we can make each other happy emotionally and economically. Because I believe in some economics. Listen, let me say this. I don't believe in brokenicity. Yeah, now, you know, brokenicity might not be a word in your vocabulary, but it exists in mine. And I don't believe in like a whole bunch of not being able to do nothing to get nothing. So I'm going to make them feel good. See, that's how you do it, Solid Blue Sister. You make who you with feel good about themselves so they can feel good about getting, you know, what they need to get and feel good about you and give it back in return. That's love. Cause see, we don't know what love is. Love ain't slaying dragons and, you know, killing presidents and stuff like that. All these, you know, wishful thinking that we have. You know, I just love the muffins. I love muffins too. But I gotta have what it takes to get muffins.
Well, what if they have a muffin top?
If they have a muffin top and they, you know, the fatter the better. If it's a little fat, she can fight back. You understand what I'm saying? What? See, Solid Blue Sister, see how you be laughing? That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense.
Well,
Hey
I
man,
started.
us
I
fat
started
people
off with
back in
this
the,
show laughing. So, bro,
I
you
know, I
you
know. But
you you
Solid
got me
Gold, listen,
laughing. So,
if she got a little fat, she can fight back. You know, that's what they do.
okay. So, this is my next question. That new word
Mhm.
for the day. That's what Feisty One says. Okay. So, my next question. I'll send this out to Crucible Man. Loving someone is about ownership. Being in love is a partnership.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It always, I mean, any relationship it should be, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a work relationship, or whether it's a love relationship, it is a partnership because there are two people involved and there are expectations that that each side is expected to fulfill. But what do you make of relationships where one person or the other will say, if you love me, you would do, fill in the blank. And they pick some arbitrary thing that may or may not have any basis in love, but it's the current measuring stick that they've decided that they're going to use to determine whether you love them or not. So in those circumstances, it doesn't sound like much of a partnership. It sounds like an ownership thing and a control thing. And if you're putting things out there for your partner to do to prove that they love you, that doesn't sound like a partnership. That sounds like ownership, and it sounds like a one-way street. And the rules will change frequently. And even though you may have done that thing that they wanted you to do to quote unquote prove your love, what's it going to be next week or the week after? So I think partnerships are built on honesty and trust. And you don't put out these arbitrary measurements to say, do this and that'll prove you love me. And that's just going about it the wrong way.
Okay. All right. And I have another one. Another question because loving someone is an uphill battle. Being in love is effortless. And I actually want to answer this one because I do believe loving someone is an uphill battle that you're constantly, dealing with issues and things that, you have to remind yourself that, that you're in love with this person or they do something that may really just piss you off and you have to, either overlook it or go around it or deal with it, whatever. But being in love is effortless because again, it's something new and something exciting. But loving someone is an uphill battle, and I don't mean in relationships, where you have a lover or something like that. I'm talking about in relationships, period. Loving someone, whether it be your friend, your mom, your dad, your siblings, your coworker or whatever, it's an uphill battle. You constantly have to work. And I still come back to there's always one person who is climbing that hill a lot more than the other person. All right. So let's see. I think that is all I got, y'all. I knew this show I was only going to keep it for about an hour. So, does anyone have any last minute thoughts that they want to add? I'll start with Crazy Lady.
oh my God. Okay.
You guys, I mean, even though we've only doing this, this is not going to be a long show today, but you all, we yeah, okay. Go ahead.
My best advice, and I don't know, like if I'm like the best person to give this because I do have more than one marriage under my belt. um, is whomever love is frugal at times, you know, but true love does stand the test of time because we all walk through some dark paths at times. There are times when Ross has dropped the ball and I picked it up and carried it. There's been times when I've totally dropped the ball and he's carried it. You know, um, he's my best friend. You know, and that's all. You have to really just we all piss each other off at one time or another in our lifetimes. It's going to happen. It's human nature. It just, yeah. It is an uphill battle. It does take work, but all good things to do, And that's it. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Ms. Shannon?
Okay, this is going to be short and sweet. If you can't be with the one you love, honey, love the one you're with. Love the one you're with.
Love the one you're with. All right. That was short and sweet. Crucible Man.
Yeah, even if you determine in a relationship that one person loves the other more than one person loves the other person more than the other, what would you do? What would you leave the relationship? Would you constantly try to find out where one or the other is falling short so everything can be equal? Of course you wouldn't, because the next one you go to is going to be the same thing. There's no such thing as exactly 50-50. And we've already talked about the ebbs and flows of relationships. And, one day it's great and the next day it's not so great. But I think as long as whatever ground rules the two people have agreed to, and granted they're going to change frequently, whatever you've determined is your basis for your relationship, for love between two people, and that's all that should matter. My system might be different, and somebody else's relationship might be different, but as long as the two people who are in it are okay with the way they're measuring their love for each other, and they know that at any given day, one's going to be up and one's going to be down, you just live with it because you love that person. And I do agree with what Shannon said earlier, that marriage can sometimes ruin relationships. I haven't been in one, but I've known plenty of people who have been, and sometimes you end up with it goes from love to a judgmental, controlling situation. And in those cases, I think you should leave the relationship. But, no relationship is perfect, but as long as the two people in it are okay with what they've decided love means, then everybody else should mind their own business.
This is true. And there are some people when they don't feel that satisfaction. I mean, some people, whether you're married or whether you're in a relationship, everyone always has the opportunity to leave. It's just that when you're married, you have to just deal with more crap on the legal side. But to me, if someone's going to decide they're going to leave a relationship, that can be whether you're married or whether you're not married. So, Revolutionary Bro, what do you have to say?
What's up? What's up? What's up? Let me just say this.
Revolutionary Bro wants a hot.
Listen, no, I don't. Listen, guys. First and foremost, let me say I love this panel because I get the ebb and flow off you guys. You guys feed my comedic energy. You just do.
Even though you still haven't sent me that email. But anyway, go ahead.
I'm a.
No, I just threw that in there, but go ahead and say what you have to say.
All right, let me say this. And I love the audience. Don't you know Feisty One? She spelled brokenicity. That don't happen every day. And I want to say thank her for that. Help me get inside the Webster's Dictionary. Listen, do you know, Solid Blue, love is about goods and services. Because in a relationship, you're going to grow together and you're going to become one. Because most couples even start looking alike. They start looking like brothers and sisters being together. But let me just say this. One thing that I practice in a relationship is equity and fairness. I do. And I love to be fair with my woman. I love to show her that respect. I treat her well, treat her good. But don't you know, Solid Blue, that's going to get old one day. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to get so old that you're going to stop understanding why you're together. Don't you know most couples over 30 years wonder, why am I with her? Why am I still with this man? Women ask themselves that question all the time. And we need to stop fronting like we don't. Have you done that? Have you questioned yourself, Solid Blue, in a
Yes,
relationship?
yes, I have. And one thing that I also think is that women, men will pretty much put up with anything. I think that a man will just ignore things and think that things are going, great, and things are, there's no issues, where women know that there are. And I think that's one reason why I think women are probably the ones who will get up and say, I want a divorce before a man would, so men can put up with more stuff, and women aren't willing to do that. That's
Because
my,
you
my
know
opinion.
why, Solid Blue? Because after a while, we're just going through the motions. Men just love coming home, turning that key and saying, honey, I'm home, and putting his feet up on the coffee table and looking at his phone today. He used to be reading the newspaper, but looking at his cell phone today. And women be questioning, why am I cooking for this man? Well, I ain't cooking for him. I'm cooking for the kids. They start, when you start doing things like that, it's time to leave. It really is. Women know when it's time to leave. Men don't.
That's what I
Women
just
know
said.
when it's time.
Women know, and men don't.
But you know what? Somebody was right when they said that it was Crucible Man. Crucible Man said that when you're in a relationship, right? He said what you be doing is you be in that relationship long. I mean, he said a marriage will ruin a relationship, and he's absolutely right. I was with my ex-wife. We was together in a relationship for 5 years, but when we got married, we only got 3 years out of it. It ruined our relationship. So we were together for 8 years altogether, 5 in the relationship, 3 in the marriage, because the marriage was good God. That's what it was.
Well, sometimes, when you get married, yes, it does change the dynamics, of a relationship. Just like, you all are doing well when you all are not living together, but then all of a sudden you live together, then it's a whole new different story. I am one person that totally believes that live with someone before you get married, because people have habits that you don't, or they do things that you don't like, or you do things that they don't like, and that is another way to end a relationship. So,
All I can say is don't burn
Even
my
the
mouth.
toilet seat.
and that's why I do not share a bathroom with my husband. I have my own bathroom, always have, and I nope, cannot do it. Will not share a bathroom with a man. So, and I'm pretty sure there are men out there who say they will not share bathrooms with women. So,
Or a
but
closet.
or closets. So yes. So
Hey, give me back
all
my
right,
shoe,
guys.
Fred.
You got your
Shit, that
shoe.
one shoe. You
That
better keep
one
that one
shoe.
shoe, baby. You might find the match.
And Crazy Lady says Ross needs his own floor. So, all right, everyone, this is going to be a short show today. But again, I will be here tomorrow. I will not be here Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. So, as always, speak your truth. Go where the wind takes you. I'm Solid Blue Sister. This is my turn to talk, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Bro, that email, I put it in the chat.
All right, that's what's up.
solidbluesister@gmail.com. You cannot forget that, dude.
All right.
You're holding up the party.
I love this panel. I do. It's my favorite show.
Well, thank you, Shannon. Thank you. Oh, my goodness.
Did Crucible Man leave us?
No, Crucible Man is still here. I think he's still here. Crucible Man, you still here?
Hey, Shannon.
Hey, I'm telling you, I'm not a flirt usually, but I would date.
I'm glad you can't see me
All right.
because I'm blushing.
That's what's up.
Well, Shannon, I hope you have both of your shoes.
I got
Because you know, Bro and Crucible Man, they got this bromance going. So make sure you have your shoe.
my getaway shoes. Run.
have one shoe, not just one shoe.
So, Crucible Man, if you meet Bro, I hope you show up with your shoes because that bromance may come to an end.
Just don't throw no shoes at me.
Just don't throw any shoes. Shoot. Bro will probably be the one throwing shoes.
Get to work. Get to work.
The shoes with the holes in them.
Yep.
Y'all love those one shoe men. Y'all love those one shoe men.
All right, y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
All right, have a
Bye,
good one.
sweetie.
You too. Bye.